And I was going to ask you about the preparation and training, just to give us an overview of how you prepare, both mentally and physically, for a journey as intense. And, and I know like the physical pieces can be broken down, but mentally sometimes being on your own, I have this thing, if I was doing it, like part of me would sort of say, I'm kind of welcome being on my own, but then partly being afraid for being on my own for that long as well. Do you do much preparation prior to it, just to kind of get yourself into a certain frame of mind for it?
I don't. I do an awful lot of mental training. I suppose having the background in sports psychology, I'm obviously a believer in it. If I wasn't, there'd be something wrong. So I do a lot of mental training for it, and I also do sports-specific training, an awful lot of sports-specific training. And during that sports-specific training, I'm bringing in the mental aspect as well. So whether it is like, obviously I bought the boat for the row in April. And the road didn't start till December, so I lived on it all summer. But also away from that, living on the boat and rowing the boat and training in big seas and all that sort of stuff, with mental and physical aspects of it. I also have a gym here at home. So the para anchor, which is a huge big parachute that goes out 90 metres of line out the bow of the boat, and that's your last sort of protocol during storms. That's your lifesaver, really.
Yes. Yeah.
And sometimes there's problems with pulling it back in. Yeah. The release mechanism doesn't work or something like that. And I'd read about that and I'd heard about that. So what I had out in the back of my house here is I had started off with one tyre, then two tyres, then three tyres, and I was pulling the same millimetre of rope, but 90 metres of it. So it's not as if it's a big thick rope, it's a thin enough rope. And pulling that on your hands at the start, your hands are nearly ripped to shreds. But as you're training that sport specifically, it makes a huge difference. And then other sort of core stuff on adapting my core exercise and my ab exercises in case I fell overboard, and getting myself back into the boat, So sport specific stuff like that. And then the mental stuff of visualization. I'm a real believer in visualization, but also familiarization, which is a technique I love using myself, in that I would bring my headspace out into the ocean for a certain big waves or lightning or thunder or capsize or the boat being broken up, and then really working hard on transforming your headspace out there into the ocean. Right. And it's interesting actually, because when one of the things I talk about a lot is the visualization for thunder and lightning. So I'd bring in the elements of the visual. I had a photo up in my gym of thunder and lightning, and then I used Spotify. I downloaded a soundtrack of storm sounds, from, you'd hear the crack and thunder and the rain and everything. And then the kinesthetic stuff, what you're feeling, how the hair standing on the back of your neck or in your arms, and bringing your head, like even linking in with that visualization block, bringing in the fear that you'd feel seeing the big waves or whatever, bringing that out into the ocean. And then when I was out there, I felt fine. And I think one of the things that it works two ways, like when I went over to the States this year and pedaling up the Sierra Nevadas in 40 degrees of heat is no joke, I could tell you. And I wasn't as fit as I wanted to be at the time, and so I'm pedaling up, visualising a route here at home, a training route. So I just see that point or see whatever, and now that I'm home and I'm going cycling up that route, I go, oh God, the wind's against me, but I bring myself over to the Sierra Nevadas, and so it works two ways, doesn't it, really?
It does.
It's a win-win.
It's a win-win. And